Welcome back to Bellingham tonight. Let's have our next guest join us, please. Give another warm welcome to Mr. Seth Fleetwood.
Wow.
How are you doing today?
Well, fine.
Right? Not your usual Tuesday.
Yeah, no, it's a little different,
All right.
but it's fun. It's
Beautiful.
a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for taking the time.
Of course.
How is your campaign going this year?
It's very exciting. Yeah, it's been great going around and talking to different people with different interests all over town. It's an opportunity to learn a lot. We've been doing well. We've been doing all the things that one does in a conventional campaign, raising money and doorbelling and preparing for the next 3 weeks. I'm delighted that it's finally, after an 8-month marathon, coming close to the finale. Yeah, but it's been exciting.
So how did you decide that you were the best person to be mayor?
Well, the first question, I think, was relating to how did we get here?
Well, that comes later, but I want to know how you think you're the best one.
You know, I sort of like April's answer. It is an interesting question because it does sound a wee bit arrogant to say that we're the best, but I think I'm well prepared for mayor. I've been involved in community affairs and activism for a long, long time, for about 25 years in one capacity or another. I served a couple of terms on the county council and a couple of terms on the Bellingham City Council. I've got lots of deep relationships. I've worked on lots of different issues. I've brought forward a number of initiatives over the years that have been all about benefiting our community in the public interest, from water quality issues to greenways and environmental infrastructure to affordable housing. And in all of those efforts, I think from that experience one can get some insight into how I would perform and work with people were I to become mayor. So I think I'm qualified and prepared. I have a vision for this community. And I think I don't know if best is the best way to put it, but I think I'd do a good job as mayor of Bellingham. Yeah.
Cheers. I'm gonna double down with you on the job questions again. Yeah. Have you ever quit? Have you ever been fired? Please give us the circumstances.
I have quit jobs before. I'm sure I have, and sort of like April, you really have to go back and think about. I've had a lot of jobs over the years, from a lawn mowing business to painting to dishwashing and waiting, fishing, just a lot of jobs over a long period of time. When I moved back to Bellingham 25, 26 years ago, whenever exactly it was, I got a job at a law firm. It was a great opportunity to learn a lot, because the reality is in law school one doesn't really, they don't teach you how to practice law. They teach you about the law. You read a gazillion cases, but I had an opportunity to work at a firm downtown, and after a year decided to go out on my own, and I've been on my own ever since. So I've quit jobs before. Good grief, who hasn't? I'm sure.
But it wasn't like a turn over the table and storm out type of situation?
No, not at all. No. The second part, have I ever been fired? Of course not.
That's
no,
bold.
no. I was fired. I was fired from a job in, it'll sound trivial, but we're in the historic Mount Baker Theater, and of course right across the street from us is the tower, the Bellingham Tower, and at the top of the tower was a restaurant called the High Country in the 70s and 80s, and I was a dishwasher there when I was a junior and senior in high school. And when I was a senior, they got new management, And I had friends that were calling me all the time around 11 p.m., wanting me to go out and play, basically, and when are you going to be done with your shift? Anyway, the new manager fired me. And
I feel like we missed a couple steps in the middle, but okay.
well, he said his excuse was that I left Scampy Guts in the sink. And
You can't do that.
But no, it was a big deal for me. I remember my best friend who was a prep cook there. We walked down, we were taking the garbage out that night, and I was tearful and upset, and he comforted me. I remember it very well. It was traumatic, just being fired from that. It was very traumatic for me. I was worried about, what my folks would say. So, yeah, it's a sensitive thing when someone gets fired, I think, for anything.
Right.
But look at you now.
Yeah, look at where you're at now. From dishwasher to potential mayor.
Maybe.
How about that? So I asked the same thing to April. Where do you want to take Bellingham? What does your vision look like?
Well, in my years of community service, as a county council member, as a city council member, and before, I've always been very interested in public interest work. The thing that jazzes me is working on making a difference in that realm, as opposed to the private realm. I had a father that always said, Seth, it's not about making money, it's about doing good work. And he modeled that, and I agree with it. And it's always been the thing that most excites me. So in my years as a council member, I recognize that we are empowered in our position to bring forward initiatives to try and identify the most pressing problems in our community and bring people together and do things about it. So as it relates to the future and a vision, I want to continue doing that same thing. I'm a realist about the reality of what's coming to the Pacific Northwest. I believe that rather than, some people don't want us to grow anymore, they want us to stay the same. We're going to transform. The 2020s, I think, and I've been saying it in this campaign, but I sincerely believe it, is going to be the most important, consequential, transformative decade in the history of Bellingham. People from all over the country, again, whether we like it or not, are going to be moving here in larger and larger numbers. So how we accommodate a growing population in ways that make Bellingham better and better is going to be huge. How we create more housing for people to accommodate people. So I have a vision for that. I'd like to be the mayor that turns downtown Bellingham on and fully sees it come back as a thriving place. There's a lot of pieces to the vision, and I recognize we're probably running out of time, but I could go on if there's...
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got Q&A
we got time.
later.
We got good.
We're going to have a lot of problems that are going to be facing our community, and I like to look at them as important challenges, opportunities. There's a lot of tension in our community around the affordable housing crisis. As we know, we're in full crisis. Half the people that live here can't afford it, probably more by some definition. How we find housing for them is going to be huge. I've worked on issues relating to growth and how we accommodate people over the years. I was the former chair of an organization called the Countywide Housing Affordability Task Force that looked at models and methods for what we can do to bring more housing types here. The current council has included some new provisions in our comprehensive plan, urging us to look at different missing middle housing types, 9 or 10 different housing types that we could employ in our community that would hopefully move the dial in affordability in Bellingham. We're going to have to figure out how to address the water quality problems. It was asked up there how many people live in Bellingham. We're at 90 now, as I think was indicated. But tens of thousands are going to be moving here. And it's going to be a really exciting opportunity for our generation to envision in a very inspired sense what we can and should be.